Hello, everybody, and welcome to the True Path Entrepreneur, your guide to living your purpose and growing a profitable, freedom-based business that you love. I'm your host, Beth Weinstein. I am a transformational business coach helping current and aspiring entrepreneurs align with their true purpose so they can grow their business, help more people, profit with your passion, and have a thriving business you love working on your terms from anywhere on earth. And today I'm so excited for our next guest. This is someone who I've been wanting to connect with for so long, Gabrielle Spencer. Hey, Gabrielle, how are you?
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining. So Gabrielle is known as the practical spiritualist and heart harmonizer, as she combines her over 20 years of successful corporate experience with over 10 years of heart-based intuitive healing and business savvy to assist heart-centered entrepreneurs to have financially robust businesses and lives. She empowers visionary entrepreneurs, change makers, coaches, intuitives, and healers to discover, align with, and activate their true purpose, passions, and gifts, do what they love strategically, and create a lucrative business and abundant life filled with freedom, love, wealth, and happiness. She has turned away from some common business practices and turned towards her own heart and soul connection, resulting in business success that would defy the odds. This is a no BS zone where she turns enlightenment teachings on their head to reveal the true secret to abundance mindset by revealing the authentic light that is already within you. And this is what I love about her, because she's very similar to me. There is no BS here. I'm totally done with the BS, actually. Many years ago, I was done with it. So Gabrielle, let's talk about, I want to hear a little bit more of your story going from, you and I have similar backgrounds. We did the whole corporate game and then started on this deeply spiritual entrepreneurial path. And I know you help people with abundance and business. So tell a little bit more about how you got into this.
Okay. I did have a great corporate career for a very long time. And I was in the mortgage and banking industry. Mm-hmm. And I worked primarily as an account manager for a large home builder. And so my accounts were their mortgage departments that they had, and my territory was California. So I did really well, and I closed about $10 million worth of loans a month, which was amazing, right? So I did well financially, and I had all the fixings of what that life would look like. So I had over $1 million home in Scottsdale, Arizona, and my life was great. And everybody would say, "Oh my God!" I had my awesome husband and my two small children, and we went on great vacations. I always say, the thing I miss the most is having a limo pick me up at my door and bringing me to the airport, and then when I get home, picking me up. I mean, it's like, that's the little things, right? Yeah. So that was all fine and good until the housing industry occurred, the whole crash. And then I lost my lucrative opportunities. And I really went through a tailspin for quite a while, trying to figure out who I was, what I was doing, and where I was going, which is a terrible place to be. And it took me a long time to figure out the next step. That was my dog. Did you hear?
Aw, yeah, I hear a little jiggling. Aw.
Anyway, okay, so the point of this is that I learned a lot of things in corporate, and I knew regardless of how hard I tried to go back into corporate, there was no market for the longest time as the housing industry was dead. Mm-hmm. And so there wasn't a lot that I could move my abilities and knowledge and all of that into, because the entire economy tanked, right? So in finding myself, I got guidance that I was a healer and it was time for me to go in that direction. And for anyone who's familiar with my story, we all know that I was completely resistant, did not want to do it, and was about as stubborn as could be. But I slowly was going in that direction and finally agreed, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. So I did, and I have moved along in this process and happily now can say, okay, I take all that corporate experience and bring it into my coaching business and what I do on the worldwide stage now of sharing my message and how I assist people, right? Mm-hmm. So for our topic today, I wanted to talk about this alignment piece, because alignment is the difference between me saying, okay, well, I finally have an idea of what I want to do, and I think it'll make money. And that's the criteria for going out to start a business. Because I did that for a long time, trying to figure out, well, what's going to sell, and what am I going to talk about, and what is everybody else not talking about? And so I spent a lot of time like trying to figure out a formula that would sell. And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs do this, and it actually, you might get a few sales, but it's slim pickings because it's not really anything from your heart. Mm-hmm. And so for myself, I realized, okay, there is a system and there is a practical way to run a business and make money. But the alignment piece has to be that you have clarity and direction. And it's very hard to have those two things, which everybody says you have to have them. And everybody goes, well, that's great. I'd love to have some. Could somebody tell me what to do? And I know that even as an intuitive, until we clear up Pigpen on Charlie Brown, do you know him?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
With the cloud.
I know. Exactly. With the cloud all over. Right. Until we clear up that cloud for you, there is very hard to tap into what's in your heart so that you know the direction that you're supposed to go and that is in your highest and best to be in. Because even if it's something like knitting, if you have the passion for knitting, it will sell, because that passion and that love going into that sweater you've just created, it is what radiates from the sweater. Right? Mm-hmm. So every time I do a talk like this, I recently had somebody actually take a picture off of Zoom and send it to me, because she's like, oh my God, you're just radiating. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yes, because from my heart, I know all of this is true and it works. And I want everybody to feel how exciting it is and how much better life is when you get in alignment with who you are, and then what you're going to do and what you're offering, because it affects all things. Like, it just popped into my head. The law of reciprocity, it's a universal law, right? And everybody likes to talk about law of attraction, and that one is super valid, and it is exactly here too. But when we give from our heart, however it is, like in this talk, I'm giving you energy from my heart that I want you to succeed. I want you to get the information you need to have, that aha moment, and to have things, I always see it like gears go click, 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 and boom, I get it, right? And so it's to share with everyone that there is a process. Follow the system and take from corporate what we have learned, because I know Beth was in corporate, I was in corporate, and take those skills, because they are valuable. It's how those corporations became so rich, right? It's because there are certain systems that you are repeatable over and over. And then apply that to what you feel inside. And that's where the healing of your heart is so important. And it's one of my bottom line has to be first, because when you have that chaos and the uncertainty and honestly, it's like the word comes desperation. Like, I have to make money. I have to make money.
Yeah.
The energy that comes out from that.
Yeah, totally comes out.
You can't hide it.
Yeah.
It does not matter, what they say, putting lipstick on a pig. You just can't do it. It doesn't work. We still know that is a pig. So the answer is you have to be okay and at peace and share. And when that happens, the magic of people who resonate with you, email you, want to work with you, want to be affiliates with you, and want to promote you, and you promote them. That's what makes this train go. That's what makes being an entrepreneur, where you're not spending $1 million on marketing, right? This is what makes it work. And so for a lot of people, initially I was told, you need to spend a lot of money on Facebook ads.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't, for whatever reason.
I think they're going down. I keep saying that. I'm like, people cut, because people like us can cut through the BS. Like I'm very sensitive like you. Like I just see through the BS. And not to say they're all BS, but it's like,
Yeah, and it's never resonated with me, and I never had success with it. So I have built my entire business without Facebook. Okay, so there is everybody. I have managed to do it without Facebook. Okay, and that's right, exactly. And this is the reason we're sharing this conversation, because there's not just one way. Yeah. There are ways to do it, and I will tell you, the way to do it is to give from your heart. For me, I found gift giveaways was like my favorite thing. You know why? Because I got to give away all kinds of awesome MP3s. And I tell everyone, I don't keep anything. I give it all in there. If I can move as much out for you as possible, I'm going to do it. I'm not saving it so you'll buy something from me. I want you to move along, find your path, find what makes you happy, because that's where abundance is, right? Yeah. I say more often, yes, money is important. Absolutely. It's an energy that we have on this planet. It's part of the whole paradigm. You need to have it in order, like you and I were talking earlier, you have to have the lights on. So we need to have money. And when we make money just part of the whole pie, and that doesn't become your whole focus, that is when money comes. Yeah. Because what happens is when you focus on something out of desperation, instead of receiving, remember my universal law of reciprocity, which means you give out and you receive back tenfold of whatever you send out. So if you're sending out resistance, like, I just need money, it's a wall now. You're only going to get back more resistance to you receiving money tenfold. So if you don't want to invoke that, you have to heal your heart and have an open heart about what you're offering, right? It's so amazing what happens when you shed all that extra baggage you don't need anyway. And it's keeping you from manifesting the other abundance that makes life worth living. Yeah.
And it feels like very light and free. Like you just said everything that I know to be 100% true. And I've actually, not only have I experienced it over and over, but I've tested it, because I've had multiple businesses, and with my other business, it was like clockwork. Like I would get sales after I even just thought something, it's like just putting my own energy out to the universe. Like, and it was like instantaneous. It was crazy sometimes. But then I was like, oh yeah, this is just the heart. That's all this is the path of authenticity and sharing fully with the heart. And, it takes a lot of getting over the fears, getting over yourself, getting over, looking stupid on these videos. Like I always make jokes. I'm like, I hate doing videos, but I don't care because I have a message to share, and I like meeting cool people.
Right.
But, it's so true. And I love what you say about the giving and the receiving. And, it's funny. I've made jokes recently to some of my peers about changing all my marketing to just say, I'm done with the bullshit. Oh yeah. Like the BS, like,
I like it,
because I'm very much like you. It's like, there's a lot of BS, just, not in this industry, but like every industry. And to me, the more everybody wakes up and the more people are obviously like tuning in, and people are just starting to be done with it. And I come from, I used to work in a world of a lot of BS and a lot of smoke and mirrors. And it's just, I've actually watched businesses crumble that I knew were going to crumble like 15 years ago, where I'm like, that's not going to last, because they're all just, it's all negative energy. They're just, killing each other, killing the planet, ruining everything. And, and now it's like, I see it all around me. The people that get very attached to money, like desperation comes through and everything they say and do, and then they're just stuck in this downward spiral. But yeah, if you just start really tapping into the heart space. But here's the question I have for you, because I talk to a lot of people that struggle with this, where they feel like they know what they want to do, and then they're just so still stuck in fear, and they're still stuck in like worry and doubts, and they can't even really grasp the concept of tapping into the heart and doing everything from the heart. So what would you tell them? Like, what is the trick to, get into that abundance space of, living from the heart, business from the heart?
I tell everybody to start with forgiveness.
Mm.
When we try something or we're doing something, that is in itself resistance. A lot of people tell me, well, I'm trying to remember to be positive. Now, you already know from me just saying it, there's like 2 double negatives. It's like, you can't try to remember, okay? Trying, whenever we try, that's where all of our energy is going, is in that. And when you are in the heart space, I'm not trying, I am just being. And that's the transformation that you and I are helping people to make. Because when you are in the space of being, the doing isn't so hard. And we're always being pushed to go outside of our box, regardless of what it is. So even if you think you've overcome your fear, let's say, of speaking. For me, mine wasn't speaking. It was going out and being seen in public. And now I'm being seen all over the world. And it's like, wow, this from a girl who didn't want not just to do Zoom. I didn't want to do anything. I mean, I would only take private clients. I had no website, nothing, because you could only find me if you came through a private client who referred you to me. That's how super secret I was. And I still made money. That's the funny part, right? But that's because I didn't want to be out there. And so every time I overcome the fear, because of then when you've cleared up all that pig pen mess, what happens is you can clearly identify what the fear is. You either then do the energy work needed to release it, however you do that, right? I have my way. I'm sure you have your way of helping your clients get through it. And there are many, many wonderful, amazing healers to help move that energy out for you. And as you get clearer, it becomes really obvious what the issue is. It's no longer like it could be 20 things. Okay, there does come a point where you don't have to release anymore. The fastest way to release is through forgiveness. And I tell everybody, we always think to ourselves, okay, I already forgave Lucy, and I don't know why I have to keep forgiving her. And of course, you can already tell from the energy that obviously it's somewhere, right? So
there's a charge.
That's right. So I always suggest that you begin with the multidimensional healing, where that means that it's really the consciousness that is you that comes throughout and lives. You're not a one person, just me here. I have an auric field and an energetic field all the way up to my soul, right? So that's your consciousness. And within that, things get stored. And usually it's the yucky stuff. It's the heavy stuff. It's the stuff that you don't even know why you're sad. You just are. You don't know why you're depressed. You just are. That's because it's within that energetic body consciousness. And so when something's hurt your heart, betrayal is a big one, being brokenhearted, big one, being let down, feeling like you failed. I mean, all of these things you can be sure that there's going to be some buried in the heart space, right? So start with forgiving yourself. Everybody always thinks it's about the other person, but it isn't. Start with yourself, right? I forgive myself for making that crap decision. I forgive myself for having no choices. I mean, these are not even specific things, but you would be so amazed at how that will help you release so much crap that you're carrying around that you don't even know where it originated. But
I love this.
I mean, what happens, I explain it to people like this. Old vinyl records, right? And a record player. Okay, so on those record players, the needle, when there's let's just say there's a scratch in the vinyl record, right? And that needle goes around, it makes that scratch a little deeper every time that record spins. So every time you have a hurt, and then you experience that hurt again in a different way from a different situation, you're still scratching that hurt. And then soon you're going to have a groove. And what happens is on an energetic level, that's what's being transmitted from you. And so that's why you're attracting it to you. Even though you think you're overthinking it and I'm going to think it out of existence, will not work, because it's the heart that allows your mind to be able to let it go. When you heal it here, it will magically disappear from here. And that's why, for me, every time I hear this mindset reprogramming, I just cringe, because what really changes that whole dynamic, where you're not trying to remember to be positive, is by healing the heart, because then there's no reason your mind has to protect you and has to keep you safe and keep you from being hurt, because it's healed here. It's over. And you're no longer creating that groove and attracting that situation or something similar every time. And so this is why I love the forgiveness piece, because it's really actually awesome and easy to do.
So I don't know if you know this about me. I've actually, one of my best performing emails ever, which I leave in my free gift sequence, it's like the third email, is about the Ho'oponopono prayer, which is about forgiveness and self-forgiveness, everything. And I wrote it obviously like from the heart, and I'm like, use this mantra to make money. It was what I think the subject line is, but it's not about like, just do this and you'll make money, but it's about this deep inner forgiveness. And I know this because I've launched multiple business. I had one that failed. I had one that was like kind of mediocre. I went into debt. I had a corporate career that went, I threw it all away. And there was a lot of deep forgiveness work in order to bring my current business to where it's at. And what's crazy is, I was just telling Gabrielle, I've manifested like the love of my life just pretty recently, and it's amazing, and it's literally the man I've been dreaming of. And the work that I was doing right before I met him was all forgiveness. That was it. And I actually just told him this recently. I was like, I was doing like a 40-day, I was dedicating 40 days to doing the Ho'oponopono, like forgiveness work. And I had done this deep forgiveness of every single guy I had ever gone, like any man I could remember throughout my whole entire life. Like literally, like that kid that kissed me in 6th grade, I don't remember his name, but like just deep, like, even though I felt very complete, I got this download actually like a year ago that was like, you know what, you need to forgive every single guy, like every guy, even like friends, and I did the work, and it was like a very big process, but it was like I literally manifested this guy, like it was like almost like the next day when I kind of completed it.
That's amazing.
So I'm glad
I love that
teaching
story.
this. It's very deep, especially when people are stuck in this fear mind, which is I actually have had a lot of clients that have come from background where it's like things weren't working, or they lost their corporate career and then they felt horrible about themselves and couldn't get a job, and it does come back to a lot of deep forgiveness. So I love that you're teaching this, because it's not so common, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's not working, which is just what you were just saying. I mean, something's not working, right? I mean, being in alignment, that means that you have to find where the kinks are. Where's the kink? It doesn't mean that it's way out there and you're never going to figure it out. But the fastest way to figure it out is to do the forgiveness piece, because then that whole emotional chaotic cloud that's around you and is what you're transmitting, I mean, it's halved.
Yeah.
Boom, halved. Yeah. Now you might get some clarity, and then you'll get to see what next you might have to release and heal for yourself. But that is when your emotions are in conflict. And this may not even be that you totally understand all the parts. In healing, you don't have to understand. You have to have the consciousness to ask for the healing, like you did. I want to heal with all men. It doesn't matter, actually, if you remember every guy, as you said, right? It's just the intention and the consciousness to say, I want to heal every relationship I've ever had with a man. That is what you did. That is what happened.
Yeah.
And so for people, I mean, it could even be, regarding success or failure in a career, as you said, or in having a business, or money matters, or whatever. I mean, it can be many, many things. And it's not so much that we know exactly. It's the consciousness to address the area.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And so for people who are having trouble being in alignment, even with what it is that they're wanting to sell or wanting to offer, what is it about it that bothers you? Is it sales?
Mm-hmm.
Is it marketing? Is it that you don't feel authentic on Facebook? Whatever it is. Then, I mean, my thing was, okay, you know what? I gave this a try. I spent money on it. Didn't work for me. And I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm asking the universe to provide me what is going to work for me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the BS part of, because the advice I was given was, well, you just have to find the right ad. You just have to find the right manager. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to even mess with this anymore, actually.
Wrong paradigm.
Right, exactly. It's like, you know what? We want to follow what you feel inside. And I don't have to justify it even to myself. You know what?
Yeah.
That's the BS part that we hear and we think we have to follow because other people have had success. And that's awesome that they have. It's not for everybody.
Exactly.
There's many ways, but it's being authentic with yourself and honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then taking the steps you need and calling it in, like you said.
Yeah.
Calling it in with the universe, like, bring to me the coach that I need.
Mm-hmm.
Bring to me what it is that I'm actually supposed to be doing that's really in alignment with my life path. And right here, I want to say, most times, like with money and a business, your life path is not done from the beginning. Like, you're not going to get, most likely, this vision of, this is the end, this is what it's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, everything is a path.
Yeah.
It is the journey.
Never ends.
Well, it evolves and it grows and it gets even more amazing. But you have to take that first step in trust, knowing that you're going to be brought to deeper and deeper happiness and joy with what you're doing. But you have to take that first step. I mean, I think back to where I was in 2008 when I finally started coaching. And I can laugh at myself. I mean, I think to myself, wow, I've come a long way from then. But that's where I was. And that was fine. I still had clients. I still did great work, right? But it continues to evolve. And now I'm in a different place and getting to do new things.
Yeah.
And that's been along the whole way. You just continue to evolve.
Yeah.
And 10 years ago, I was given a vision. And I thought, that's definitely not me this lifetime, because I will never get to that level. That's not me. And what's hilarious is now it's coming to fruition, and I have to laugh because, see, it didn't stop me, but I didn't believe it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Right? So that's the point, is don't get caught up in, I have to have the whole thing mapped. It's just going with what your heart is guiding you to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say, like, always be open to the unexpected. You know, like, one of my favorite mantras from a Buddhist teacher of mine is, may my life unfold with ease. And it's like, you know what, if you just let it unfold, like, you never know. Like, I never imagined I would leave the city and live in the middle of nowhere and meet the man of my dreams and manifest this amazing business that I didn't even know there was such a thing as a coach when I started coaching. I tell people, other people started telling me to do this, and they're like, you realize you're a coach, like, you're coaching people. And I was like, what? So I love this advice because there's so much truth in it. And I think it's so important because, you know, just like you, I talk to people who struggle with all this all the time, who are just really stuck in, you know, the past and not forgiving themselves, and really, you know, like that desperation of fear. And I love, you know, the forgiveness. And actually, I was wondering if you could talk about your free gift a little, because we have to go in like 2 minutes. But
yes.
Do you give people exercises they can implement in this Power Up Your Business Abundance gift?
The great things about all my audios is that all you have to do is be present and say yes. Because in this Power Up Your Business Abundance, it's about alignment. It's helping you to bring your heart, your spirit, and your mind into alignment so that your highest and best business path can come forward. And there includes in there the work that your higher self will deem you need to move through your own fears and blocks. Because in the way I do the energetic healing work and activations is that it's connecting your higher self to the higher vibrational energies of healing. And so your higher self is directing it for what you need. And so for everybody who does it, it's like 5 minutes, probably that portion. It's not that it's super long because it's not about length, it's about potency. And so I explain to people about the alignment piece, and then you just close your eyes and do what I say, which is to roll your eyeballs up toward your eyebrows, and you allow your eyelids to flutter, and you take the deep breath, and this switches your brain from I'm actively thinking, into that theta brainwave state, which is that semi-conscious place where you're more receptive and you're able to receive. There's less of that mind barrier keeping things from happening for you. And I always suggest to people, it's not on the tape, but it's where you chant. You allow your mind to chant silently to itself, like Om or some other high vibrational chant. This keeps your mind from being difficult, right? And getting in the way and thinking about your groceries. And it also raises your vibration. The higher your vibration, the more is able to be healed for you. So that's your only job, is to sit and play that as much as possible.
I love it.
Okay.
I can't wait to get my own. I'm like, I want this now. My vibration has been so high recently that it's actually like, there's been nights where I like can't sleep because it's like buzzing, and it's amazing. It's like everything just feels, I mean, I hate saying this because of course I have problems and issues like everybody, but I've experienced this and I know what you're talking about. It's like, this is all you have to do in a way, with then of course following your heart and doing the marketing strategies that actually feel good to you.
Yes, but it's so much easier to know what that is when you have clarity from within, and your emotions are not in turmoil or conflict, and you're not acting in desperation, and you're not doing things hoping to God one of them is going to work. I mean, you can be focused on the things that actually work. And that's what I learned early in my career. I used to say, and my favorite saying was, I'm going to throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Okay. And while that's fabulous for many things, it doesn't really work all that well when you're an entrepreneur. Because then you're spending all your time doing things and nothing works because you didn't put any real energy because you were busy doing 10 different things instead of 1 or 2 targeted things. So having the clarity of actually what it was I was wanting to share and talk about cleared everything up immediately. I mean, as soon as I got clear on it, I think 3 days later, I sold my first $3,000 package and I didn't even have the program written.
Nice. I love it.
Yes, this is what we all know, right? We love it. We want that for everybody. And then it just continues to grow as you refine what you're doing. And so that's where, for entrepreneurs, heal your heart. And then find an awesome business coach.
I love this. Gabrielle, this has been awesome. I actually have to run because I have another interview in 3 minutes, but everybody be sure to click on the link in today's email and download this free gift for your business abundance. This is, I mean, she's really speaking the truth, and I really love this because there's not, I mean, to me, there's a lot of great, amazing people out there, but very few people really get it. And this is really real. And I always say, and you probably say this too, Gabrielle, put it to the test. Like, give this meditation or this, this MP3 a try. I always say give it at least 40 days. And I don't know about you, but I have done this kind of work for so long that I've proven it over and over. And it's like, wow, it can actually be really fun. Like literal checks in the mail just show up, and random clients come out of the woodwork. It's amazing. And I'm so glad you're putting this out there and teaching this to the world, because healing your heart is really, this is the path that all of us are on. This is all we need to do. And the world will just be an amazing, better place without wars and craziness, hopefully.
It's how we're creating the new mass consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay. And to be a member of our new mass consciousness, this is the piece. You have to
Yeah.
raise your vibration. How do you do it the fastest? Heal your heart. It's the answer, and it's the easiest, and it makes you feel amazing. And then you get to see the miracles happen in your life that are unexplainable, except for they're not. Because when you're in this stage, you realize what it takes to create a miracle.
It's
and
like
that's
natural.
exactly. I'm telling you, it's
of
awesome.
course I'm going to manifest the love of my life in the small town in the middle of nowhere.
I'm impressed.
Totally, yeah, both of us were like, okay, yeah, this is totally alignment. Like, this is, and it's really interesting. And of course, our businesses have been taking off like crazy too. Like instantly, yeah, because he's on a very similar path. So it's amazing. And yeah, it's like, oh my God, I've known this, and it just gets better and better and better and better, like every day. So
that's exactly what we're saying, Beth.
I love it.
Get better and better and better. And it's hard to put it in words. I tell everybody, I wish I had better words.
I know.
I don't. You just have to trust that this is, like you said, it's the truth, and it's how we're doing it. It's not a super secret. We're telling you the secret.
I know, right?
So, just try it. Like you say, I love that.
Yes.
Just try it.
Thank you so much for being with us. And I seriously talk to you for hours, and I'm so excited to have you on here. And everybody be sure to download her free gift and join us for another interview on the True Path Entrepreneur. Bye, Gabrielle. It was so good to have you here.
Bye-bye.